All right, so today we're going to look at compound interest. So compound interest is when interest is earned on any interest that you've already been paid. So what happens, so if we think before, when we had simple interest, we found out a certain amount and it got added, so say, and it was a certain amount of the original. So say it was $100 and we wanted 10% for 5 years. What you're adding every year is $10 every year. That's simple interest. If we have compound interest and you say you're getting 10% per annum, that means at the end of the first year, you get $10. So really what you'd have in the bank now is $110. So at the end of the second year, you get 10% on that new amount, which is $110, which is going to be a little bit more. It's going to be $11. So compound interest, that's where it's compounding. That's what they mean. You're getting interest on the running total. So as it increases, the amount of interest will get more and more each time. So for that, it's a different, we use a different formula, but we're still using similar words and things like that. So A is still standing for the amount at the end of the period that you're talking about. All right, so if I wanted to find interest after, or how much I had in my account after 5 years, that would be I'd use this A formula here. That would be the amount at the end of 5 years, and I'd put 5 into the formula. All right, so here's the formula. So the P is going to be the initial amount. So the original, you might write the original investment or whatever, or loan. It depends what you're doing. Okay, so investment or loans. This is mainly, compound interest is what mainly the banks are doing. Yeah, you get compound interest on your investments or on your bank account, on your money, or if you've got a loan, you've got to pay compound interest. So the quicker you pay off your loan, the less interest you've got to pay. All right, so R is going to be the annual interest rate. So we got to remember that's the annual. So we'll probably see the words per annum for that. So just be careful. And time is in years. So if they give time in months or something, you have to do over 12 if they're giving you in months, okay? Otherwise, you can just write years. All right, so this is the formula for working it out. Now, as I said, A is the total amount. So if I just want to know what interest I've paid, so just the extra or I've earned, depending what it is, an investment or a loan, we can just find out that final amount and then minus what our original amount was, and then we know the difference is the interest. All right, so we're going to go through this question, and once again, I want you to practice underlining or highlighting the bits as you go through. It makes it a lot easier in finance if you're doing this. So it said, determine to the nearest dollar the amount of interest earned. So you probably should be highlighting that and just writing that interest is my question. That's what they want to know. And they said after 3 years, so I'll put T3. If 2,000 is invested, so when they told me that, I know that's the P, and at an interest rate of 8% per annum, so there's my R. And they will tell you if it's compounded annually. So they have to tell you when the interest is getting charged on. So this one, they're going to just work out the interest at the end of every year. If they're going to work out the interest at the end of every month, that will be different. All right, so let's go. They want me to find the interest. So first I'm going to find the amount. So using that formula up there, I know it is 2,000. Then I'm going to have 1 plus the rate, which is 8 over 100 to the power of T for me is 3. So I'm just going to pause it there, and we're going to show you on the calculator what you need to type in for that. So we've typed that into the calculator. Now it said determine to the nearest dollar. So I've got my answer at the moment was 2519.42, but because they said the nearest dollar, I don't need the cents, so I'll just do 2519. This is my total amount, but remember they wanted the interest. So interest equals the amount minus principal. So 2519 minus the principal, which was 2000. So the interest I've earned is 519. Okay, so you can pop a box around that answer. All right, so that's after 3 years, that's how much I would have earned. Okay, so we just got to have a little look at if we had a bank account and we compare. So you can see here the simple interest, when you're always adding the same amount, it's a straight line. Because and you can see in this scenario, they were doing 10% every year. So you can see 10% of 250 is $25. So you can see 25 is getting added every time. Okay, so that's simple interest. Now, in the first one, even though it's compound, we do see in the first year we get 25 added. But then in the next year, we're getting 10% of this amount. So it's going to be actually $27.50. So $27.50 gets added. And then in this next year, we're going to see $30.25 added. So you can see that it's getting more and more. So you can see the compound interest graph is curved. It gets more and more and more and gets bigger like that. So that's the difference in the graph. So sometimes you get asked, what does this graph represent? If you've got a straight line, it must be going upwards. It's a simple interest. If it's a curved line and you can see it's getting more and more, that would be compound. All right, so you're just going to practice doing these compound questions, and that's what we're going to do for D questions 1 to 8 today.